Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good afternoon. It is so good. It is so good to be back, and it is really a privilege and a pleasure for Paro and Parhao to be hosting this talk. As you all know, Paro and Parhao was founded by Nikhat Jameel and co-founded by Sana Junaid and myself. We started off in the summer of 2020, and the purpose of our program was to encourage young kids, instill in them a sense of social responsibility, a sense of giving something back to the community. And since then, we've had a lot of kids who have joined our cause, and they have given back by taking classes for younger students. What started off with a few teachers getting together, teaching basic core subjects like English, math, and science, has now evolved and into a life of its own. And we have various subjects like home sciences, personal development, languages, general knowledge, history. We've got so many classes which are being conducted by students for younger students. Not only that, but in our endeavor to serve the community, we have been holding a lot of informative talks and lectures for our stakeholders, for the parents, for the students, and it is truly our pleasure to be back and holding this particular talk in collaboration with Nahi Means No. First of all, we would like to welcome on board Nahi Means No on their first ever global workshop. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We cannot tell you how excited we are about this. A little bit about Nahi Means No. So Nahi Means No is an online and on-ground assault harassment and awareness, safety, empowerment, and equality campaign. They work by connecting and highlighting people and platforms. They are based in New Delhi in India, but then their work is I mean it's across the country, and obviously now they have gone global in collaboration with Paro and Parhao. Nahi Means No have been fortunate to receive support of numerous eminent individuals, organizations, and media coverage for a greater outreach. The purpose of Nahi Means No is to influence, change, and empower the mindsets of the younger generation for a safer future. This is fantastic work that is being done by them, and it is our pleasure to, like I said, to collaborate with them for this particular workshop, a very, very important workshop in this day and age. And I would like to welcome Sunanda Kashyap, who's the founder of Nahi Means No. Sunanda, can you hear us?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I can.
Over to you then.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paro and Parhao, to all of you for having us. As Samira just said, this is our first international workshop, so we are super excited to be here. Can I request everybody to put their cameras on if possible, so we know who we're talking to? If you're comfortable with doing it, please put your cameras on. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, guys. As Samira already explained, we're an organization and we're set up in India, and we've been working towards the safety of children on ground. So what we've been trying to do is create a safe environment for all of you in the physical realm, which is in your schools and when you grow up in colleges, in your workplace, within your friends, your groups, and your families. So that's what Nahi Means No does. But we're here today to talk to you about the virtual space, because as we all know, with Corona, the whole world has gone virtual, and this is now the new realm of existence. So we have to learn how to create a safe space here, and that's what we're here to talk to you about. Now, when we teach kids like all of you about safety on ground, we teach them how to use their voice, we teach them how to stand up for themselves, and we teach them self defense. Now, using your voice and standing up for yourselves are all the things that can also happen in the virtual world, in the cyber world, because we have cases of cyberbullying that are always happening. In fact, just last week, my own daughter was cyberbullied, and she's only 8 years old. And it just so happens that today I'm sitting here and talking to all of you. But what I saw was my daughter was being cyberbullied, and she was too scared to come and talk to me about it. And when I asked her, why didn't you talk to me about it? She said, I was worried you might say something. So, as kids, what we want you all to learn is that one, you should not be scared. If you're ever feeling threatened or unsafe, whether in the physical world or in the cyber world, on your WhatsApp groups, on your social media accounts, even within your school workshops that are happening virtually, you must speak out. You must always stand up for yourself, talk to your parents or talk to your friends, and let them know what's happening to you. Now, once my own daughter told me about her cyberbullying case, all I did was I notified her teacher, and nobody got into trouble. So you have to understand that your parents are also people who will understand and support you. You need to use the cyber space um, as responsible kids, but you need to communicate with parents and teachers and let them know if anything is troubling you. Achal will now talk to you a lot more about the cyber safety and cyber issues that can happen. Go ahead, Achal.
Thank you, Sunanda. Thank you, Samira, Nighat, and Sana for such a warm welcome. So, I just wanted to ask you, do you all understand what cyber harassment or cyber bullying is? If any one of you want to write in the chat box, I'll give it a second. What all do you think constitutes cyber bullying or cyber harassment? If any comment, you can comment in the chat or you can speak up. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead with it. So cyberbullying or cyber harassment is any sort of a harassment or bullying that takes place in an electronic form. It could in an electronic medium. If anyone sends you a threatening message or an intimidating message, it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on social media chats, it could be on gaming communities, it could be on any online forums. Uh, Okay, anything. Absolutely. Anything which is uncomfortable to anyone physically or emotionally, Nigat, anything which makes you uncomfortable even online, then that constitutes as cyber harassment or cyberbullying. Things that can come under cyber harassment or cyberbullying is any sort of intimidating messages you've got. Anyone is sending you vulgar messages, any sort of pornography, if that's being shown to you, any sort of stalking or trolling, because these days we've been seeing that on your social media accounts, in your DMs, people can send you any message. You are in anyone's reach at any point of time. So all these things come under cyberbullying. If anyone makes a fake ID of you, tries to impersonate you, tries to hack your account, that is also comes under cyberbullying. And there are strict rules against all these things. So if you are facing this, or even if you know a friend of yours is going through this, you must raise your voice, you must speak up, you must immediately block or disable the account which is trying to reach out to you, and you must tell your parents. While the digital world is an excellent medium, in fact, our Nahi Means No started online. We grew up to a massive levels because we had the power of the internet with us. But we need to learn that we need to be safe as well. We need to figure out ways that we can be safe. We need to identify that if someone is harassing us, the first point is identification, and then you take steps to remediate. You cannot treat yourself as a victim or get scared. If anyone is threatening you that you commit so and so thing, otherwise I will harm your family, that is also cyberbullying, and we must not take it, because they will threaten you once, they will threaten you again. Now we move on to the next part, which is that how anything that you do digitally always leaves a footprint. Anything you do digitally is permanent. Even something like a Snapchat, which we think that it just vanishes as soon as you see, someone can snap your snap. In India right now, with one of the actors, one of the really famous actors, a case had happened where their messages, their WhatsApp messages from 2017 were all cracked down by the authorities, even though WhatsApp says that it's end-to-end encrypted. So if it can happen with them, anything can happen with your phones as well. It can all be traced back to you. So it works both ways, because if you do something bad or if you do something negative, it can be traced back to you. But also, alternately, if someone is trying to threaten you, they can be traced too. My own Instagram account was actually hacked a few days back, and I realized that I didn't even have the double factor authentication turned on. So it's really important that we understand what the safety features of the apps that we are using and we turn them on. The physical boundaries that of a country, of your city, do not apply in the digital world. Digital world, anyone sitting anywhere can reach out to you at a moment's notice, and they are right there in your phone or on your screen. So we need to be very sure that when we visit websites, we have the lock screen right at the top of the left side. The lock pops up, which shows that this is a verified website. Try and make sure you have that. Like right now, our frontal cameras are on. These can actually be turned on remotely if someone has an evil intention. So we must make sure that our frontal cameras are turned off. We have your location services on your something like your phone. If you're carrying your phone everywhere, make sure location services are turned off. In a lot of apps, if you download a new app, a lot of settings are set by default. So make sure you check the app that you are downloading in, and if there are any default settings like location services, or they tell you that they can ping you, or they can use your information for other purposes, you must turn that off. That these are the ways that you can keep yourself safe online. You keep your private information private. You can also use virtual private networks, which are the VPNs, when you're using a public Wi-Fi. These are the ways that you keep yourself safe online. Now I pass it on to Afshin, who's going to talk to you more about this.
Okay. Audible? Everybody can hear me? Yes? Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Samira, Nighat, and Sana, and Padho and Padhao. I know we've talked a lot about global. We're excited. So I know for all of you here, now unfortunately I can't see you, but I can see everybody's name and parents and kids, and I hope everybody is listening to this so far. I'm going to now start you off on no. Our organization is called Nahi Means No. We're going to talk about the no part of it, which is just as important in the virtual space as it is in the physical space. Before we start going into this, now, usually when we do our on the ground workshops, we do a bunch of role plays, right? Because we feel like it helps people understand and take the message better. Sunanda is going to now do this role play for you online. She's going to tell you the difference between the no's that you say and the difference that it makes in the attitudes of the people who are actually trying to harass you. So go ahead, Sunanda. Let's start.
So when Nahi Means No started, we got in touch with an organization called No Means No Worldwide. And they taught us 3 different no's that we must use to make our side of the story very clear. If we don't like something, if somebody is bullying us, if somebody is troubling us, we must always make it very clear if we do not like what's happening with us. Now, in the virtual space, the way this would work is, I can give you a quick example. I'm somebody who's very active on social media, and I use a lot of Instagram. Now, a good idea for any parents sitting here would be to try and also get onto these social apps like Facebook and Instagram and see what happens on it. Also to see that it is not as scary as you might think as it is. For children, for you to know, there are people out there who can reach out to you at any time on social media. And these are people who you might not want to talk to, which is what happened with me. So somebody tried to get in touch with me, and I was not very clear in my response back because I didn't want to be rude. So they kept trying to get in touch with me and they were harassing me. Now, the 3 no's is what this teaches you. The first no is what we call a silent no. Somebody messages you and you don't want to be rude, so you don't respond back to them. What might happen is they might message you again, they might message you again, they might try to get in touch with you, they might try to look for your phone number or your home address. And these are all things that are not safe. So the silent no is a no that you never use. A silent no being doing nothing. The second no is what we call a shy no or a mixed signal no. Somebody messages you again on this online space and you don't want to be rude, so you continue speaking with them. Instead of saying, no, don't message me, you write back to them. You're giving out a very mixed signal and they think they want to be friends with you. So this is definitely a no that you also once again never use. The third no is the no that you must use. And this is the no that I used. And this person stopped bothering me. They sent me a message and I wrote back very, very clearly, please do not message me again. No, I am not interested. Right? So this is the no that you must also use on the cyberspace, any social media, any WhatsApp messages that you do not want to receive, please let them know, do not message me. A loud and clear no. Afshin, back to you.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? So now this is all in the virtual world, and we think that, like Anchal had said, that, remember, you're just because you're on a screen, it doesn't mean things can't be traced back to you. It doesn't mean that you also cannot trace back things to people, right? You have to be just as firm in the virtual world as you are in the real world. Now, no has only 2 letters, guys, N and O. It's technically easier to say than yes. Why don't we say it? Because many times, like Sunanda said, you don't want to be rude, right? Most of us have taught ourselves, we have been taught that, okay, don't say no. It's not a nice thing to say, adjust. That the time is gone. Do not adjust. Do not make yourself feel comfortable with anything that you are uncomfortable about. In fact, this is why Nahi means no was created. One of the biggest reasons that it was created is so for the children and the kids that you could grow up in a safe, secure environment, doing the activities that you want to do without any sort of added pressure or uncomfortableness as to why you can't do it, right? And this only comes when we are mindful about our actions and we are mindful about our feelings to other people's actions. So please say no. There is a code of conduct that you have to adhere to in the virtual world. It is almost identical to the same code of conduct that we adhere to in our physical world whenever we start moving out, which we will one day, right? If someone sends you something in a private chat, use the no that Sunanda used. No, I am not interested. Stop messaging me. Stop saying this. And please remember, if something is happening, don't be scared to tell your parents. Don't be scared to escalate the situation if you feel that someone is, I'm giving an example, right? Someone is repeatedly messaging you. Someone is repeatedly commenting on something on one of your social media sites and you don't like it. And you have told them, please stop. And if you feel that they are not listening to you, escalate the matter. Tell your mom and dad, tell your teachers, tell somebody. Because many times it is the difference between that becoming a very big deal and that just coming down to exactly what it should be, right? And also remember that if someone does something to you in terms of the virtual world, if they message you or try to do something and you don't say anything because you feel scared, you don't want to be rude, you just feel like, okay, I won't say anything, maybe the person will understand. The person already isn't understanding because they are messaging you these things that they shouldn't be or whatever it is, right? This means that if you don't say no and put a stop to it, that gives them the license to go and do this with other people because they think that they have gotten away with something like this because you have not said anything, so I can do it with 10 other people. That is why it is very important to use your voice. And if you can't use your voice in the virtual world, you use your fingers to type. You say no. And don't be ever scared of standing up for something that is wrong to do standing up for something that is right for you. Don't be scared. What I'm going to get into from this is the not being scared is now how do you identify how you feel things, right? There's something that we do which is called your gut instinct, your gut alarm, your personal space also comes into this. What is your gut? Your gut is, I like to think of it as the head voice that I have in my head. You know, if I'm somewhere where I shouldn't be, if I'm part of a conversation that I shouldn't be listening to, if someone is saying something to me and it just feels weird, it's that little head voice in my head that'll tell me that, Afshin, this is not right. Always listen to that voice. That is your gut. You feel it in your gut. You feel it in your stomach when something is about to go wrong. You know, many times, like I'll give you a very small example. Many times before we fall on the road, you know that, oh, I'm about to fall without anything. That's your gut telling you you're about to fall. And so you try to hold on to something before the slip happens, right? That's your gut in a very different way. Listen to your gut, kids, because your gut will never, ever, ever lead you into trouble. No matter how rude it seems, no matter how dangerous something seems in terms of not doing it, right? That everybody is doing it. You don't want to do it because your gut is saying no. Sometimes we think it becomes dangerous to say no because we don't know the situations that we are in. Always keeping your own safety in mind. Listen to the gut feeling, listen to the gut alarm. Safe space. Everybody is in their houses right now. Keep the communication channels open with your mom and dad, with your older siblings, anybody that you have. Always, always tell them everything that is going on. So if you are ever in a situation that you require some assistance, at least the people around you know what is going on. Safety above everything else and at all costs. And also, I would like to end with, we've talked about no. We can sit here and say, say no, say no. It's not that easy sometimes. You have to practice it. It's hard for me also sometimes to say no, depending on the situation that I am in. But you have to practice it. Practice makes perfect, and you have to do it in a way where you yourself will be safe. As hard as it is to say a no to somebody, it is also that hard to hear a no from somebody. It's not easy. Nobody wants to hear no, but that doesn't mean that we stop doing it. So I will now hand over to Sangeeta. And if you have any questions, guys, please get them in. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sangeeta. So a big hello to all the kids who I can't see, and an adab to all the parents who are here. Thank you so much, Samira, Nigat, and Sana, for giving us this tremendous platform and our very first. So we will always remember this as a special milestone for Nahi Means No. Okay, now I can't see anybody and I can't hear anybody. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You can put your emoticons to signify that you've understood what I'm trying to say. Okay, starting with a few questions. How many of you know how to boil an egg? Oh, great. I got 1 thumbs up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow, it's exploding the screen. Great job. How many of you know how to make the bed? Okay, they're still sticking on. That's great. Not bad. This is quite inspiring. And how many of you know how to sew a button? Oh, that's very vocal, very visual. Thank you for all your responses. So these are some of the life skills which I feel that you should learn. Why? Because it just makes you self-reliant. And this is something that will stand you in good stead even later on in life when you're preparing for university, whether you're at home, whether you're somewhere else, and a lot more. But the biggest life skill is to differentiate between who's your real friend, what is your safe space, and what keeps you happy. And this is something that you will realize the older you grow, the more you move away, the other people you meet. And this is an interesting life skill because remember that even while you're at home and you're doing your online studies and everything, your parents are not around. In the classroom, in the online classroom, when you go to school, anywhere, the physical thing will happen soon. We do not know when, but it will. And even in your online or your virtual world, which is your classroom, this is your world. This is you dealing with all your problems all by yourself. So your parents might be just across on the other side of the road, but they can't step and help you, right? They might be just across from a door, another room, another partition, but this is your world. So it is very important for all of you to realize that apart from this, keeping yourself safe is your biggest priority. So how do you realize bullying? I know that from the physical boundaries, it's now come down into your screens. So while you're at home safe, are you really all that safe? So I'm going to give you a way of, Anjul has already told you about the kinds of bullying, the flaming, outing, frapping, all of that, trolling, anything that is hurtful, anything that makes you feel bad about yourself, and anything that is completely unacceptable. Now I've made this rough chart. This is something that will help you to understand whether it is bullying or not. And I'm going to use the same thing to help you empower yourself to get rid of bullying from your lives, okay? So the first letter is an R. Can you see the R, everybody? Okay, now so R is basically when it is repeated. So if somebody is saying something to you, posting something to you, it is repeated, it is R, okay? So that is bullying. The other thing is I, when it is intentional. When somebody is doing it deliberately, it is not a joke, it is different from a prank, it is something which is intentional. And the last letter is a D, when it is directed towards you. So this is how you can make out that it is just not a normal prank, it is not a one-off thing, but it is actually bullying. So who are these people? Who are these bullies? A lot of people say that these are kids with issues at home, have anger management issues, or are going through a hard time. I don't think anything justifies bullying somebody. And why should you have to put up with something like that? Because your parents have brought you up really well. They treat you well, they love you, not for you to go to an international school and be bullied by somebody who's having his or her own problems. Bullies need to be punished. Bullies need to be called out. Bullying is completely unacceptable. I realize you all have your fears, which is why you do not talk to your parents about it, that it can escalate into something else, that tomorrow they will trouble you more. But if you don't, they will trouble you more. They will put you in a scenario where it is difficult for you to get out of. It will be more difficult for you to make other people understand that you are the person who's the victim, that it is not the bully who is actually creating all of this. So remember that before, if you do not inform somebody, it is going to be more difficult for you to explain your actions later on. And that is what bullies work on. They work on fear. They work on the fact that you're going to be scared and not talk to anybody about it. Getting bullied, there is nothing shameful about it. Okay, you should not be ashamed. There is nothing weak about it. It is just something which is unfortunate because we have all kinds of people. When you grow up, you will see there are good people, there are bad people, there are nice people, there are not so nice people. We can't change the world, but you can change what you can do about these people, how you can protect yourself. So firstly, you must talk to your parents about it. There is, again, I'm going to use the same thing again, the RID. So with an R, what should you do? You should first report these people. With an I, you should isolate all these bullies. Make sure that all your friends know about them. Tend to put them in a corner. Tend to isolate them so their power weakens. And the third thing is defend your friends. If you realize that there's somebody in class who's misbehaving, who's making pointed remarks at somebody, defend your friend. It goes a long way in reducing the powers of a bully. And you must tell your parents about it. Because remember, I know you're scared that you feel that it will become something else and they will not be able to manage it. Your parents have the experience. They know which way to reach out and which way to help you so that you don't get into trouble. Remember, bullies also grow up to be criminals 80% of the time. This is the psychology of somebody who is not all right in the head. Some bullies grow out of it, some bullies don't. So if you don't put your voice up against this kind of bullying, remember that in a way, you're also responsible for that bully becoming bigger, becoming scarier, becoming more violent, becoming more aggressive, and harming somebody really. Right now it's verbal, tomorrow it might be physical, later on it can become something much bigger than that. So remember, you have to be careful. To protect yourself, I've told you, use the acronym RID. So report, isolate, defend. Now for parents, how do you make out that your child is being bullied? Look out for signs which is completely not their normal behavior. If they are being quieter than usual, if they seem fearful, if there is problem sleeping. They could also be instances of bedwetting. They could also be instances of them seeming sad or extremely agitated or frustrated or anxious. You as a parent will know that something is not all right. That is the time to start engaging in a conversation. to start communicating with your child. It is not easy for them to open up about these instances, but please try and reach out. Tell them that you'll ensure their safety, that nothing will come to them, that that bully cannot harm them anymore. So these are a few things that you can do. Now, on the flip side, what you also need to realize, it's all very good to blame somebody and think that you'll always be the victim. There is something that you also need to be responsible as a netizen, because most of us are on the internet now. So the internet, while it's an amazing friend, but it's also a very dangerous enemy. So a couple of things that you must remember. There is the golden rule. Basically, treat everybody the way you would want them to treat you. So be respectful, be polite, do not use anything controversial, do not use anything which is inflammatory, do not use anything which is deliberately mean or intentionally hurtful. Second rule, keep private things private. What is meant for your ears, keep it for you. Do not tout about your secrets on a public platform or somebody else's. That is insensitive, and that is something which is not done. Because you're violating somebody's vulnerability when somebody confided in you in a very vulnerable or in a very soft moment. So don't take advantage of that. Just be mindful. Sometimes it happens, but be mindful. Once you keep this in your mind and you're careful about it, I'm sure you will not do it. The third thing is to think of the future. Like all of them told you before me, that everything that is on the net stays on the net. It can be traced back. So please be very careful for your choice of words, what you say, what pictures you put on there. These things can land you into trouble later on. It may not seem like such a big deal now, but 10 years later, they will still have the ability to scar and create problems for you. And lastly, be yourself. You all are children. There is so many things to be happy about. There are so many things to learn. And with the internet, there is amazing amount of resources, amazing amount of hobbies, ideas, creativity, everything that you can take. So everything has a positive. You're home, you're safe, you're with your supportive families, you're loved. That is the most important thing. There is no reason that you have to put up with somebody else being mean to you. And for what? I just want to end this thing with saying that please communicate, please be careful, and please remember that you're special. You're worth all the love. Don't let any bully take that away from you. So boo to the bullies and more power to all of you. Thank you again for listening. Thank you.
So I think there were a few questions. There was a question here saying, how important is it for adults to listen to kids and take action accordingly? I think everybody can speak on this, but I would say as a parent, I would really, really like my child to come and speak to me about any incident that occurs. And using our judgment, we must act on that. But children should be able to communicate freely with us, especially in this day and age when they have so much access to information from everywhere. Would anybody else like to take that question?
I think the only thing that I would add to what Sunanda said is that when parents are taking cognizance of what their child is saying, please don't be dismissive, because it takes a lot of courage for them to come up and open. So I know that you're all very supportive. We have our own stresses, but if a child is trying to tell something to you, believe in it. Try and find out a little bit more about it and reach out to the parent of the child. A lot of times bullies, parents are either not aware or they don't want to listen or they don't want to accept that their child is doing something like that. If they don't, then bring it to the attention of the authorities in school or a counselor where they can be helped and your child is protected. Communication is very important, and so is believing in your child.
And well done, Suzanne. I think Suzanne said that somebody was started chatting bad words in Zoom classes. So they screenshotted it and sent it to the counselor. And then she told her mom. So I think that is an amazing thing that you did, because what you've done is you've stopped this person from getting into even worse trouble later on. You know, what we don't realize now is that all of you are playing video games, and a lot of you might enjoy things like hacking or you know, passing comments, and you don't realize how later on this could lead to you doing something very, very serious, and it could get you into even worse trouble. So well done. That was a very brave thing of you to do, and I hope the situation was handled well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, can we see you? Do you want to put your camera on? Oh, okay. Okay, you don't want to put your camera on. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
there
a
she is.
star.
Hi,
Congratulations. We all clap
well
for you.
done. Good job. That's a very brave thing to do. And now you'll see that when somebody takes a stand, you'll see that other people around you will also take a stand. So
Yeah.
tomorrow, if someone else is being bullied or they find someone using bad words, they'll use your example and they'll follow you. So you've done a really good thing. This is leadership. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Question on our group. Nowadays, making new friends during playing online games. Please address this as well. This is extremely important. Even my 8-year-old knows this. In fact, she's far stricter than I am. Please ensure that you never share your real name, that you're using a fake name online, that you never share your phone number, you never share your address. If you're making any YouTube videos or any such thing, please ensure that your face is not in that video. So if you're gaming and you're putting it on YouTube, make sure you're only showing the screen. If you're doing crafts and arts, make sure you're only showing your hands, because you don't want to be traced back.
So no, 1 second. And Suzanne has written the trending online game is Among Us. And I just want to take a second to say this because it's so weird that you said that, because in the last day on my cousins group, which is all of us cousins, someone has talked about this Among Us. And I've heard it's a very popular game. And so what we are doing as a family is we are taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us that all know each other and we're cousins and we're playing this game together. So you don't need to play games like this with strangers. If you play them with people that you know only about this Among Us, right? It's probably a lot better.
There was a question. There was a question that we had asked in our group before our talk. There are many times when kids don't realize, that they're being bullied or they're being harassed. So, I mean, are there any signs? Are there I'm sure that there's such a fine line between just being bullied and not being bullied. How can a child realize that he or she is being bullied, and when should a child's the alarm bells, when should they start ringing? Or because it sometimes it can be very confusing for a child, and they just might ignore it, that no, it's okay, no, it's okay, I will they just accept it as a part of being in the same class, or as a part of growing up, or as a part of just Nani, ye to, no, she's my friend, she was just saying it just like that, So is there anything that a child or a parent, and especially a child, is there something that they need to be aware of or look out for?
So I would say, firstly, like I'd said in my RID acronym, it has to be repeated. It has to be directed towards you. It has to be intentional. Remember, just because somebody is your friend doesn't mean that they cannot bully you. Please
Right.
get that out of your thing. So the best thing to know, like Afshin talked about gut instinct, when somebody is being mean, even if it is your friend, you will know. We human beings are very sensitive to these kind of vibes. If somebody is being deliberately hurtful, if somebody is being deliberately mean, you talk about it. You tell somebody about it. If you cannot make out, why don't you ask your parents that this is what the person said twice? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think I'm being sensitive? Ask them, because remember that a lot of times people, when they're doing something wrong, they know that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So they will brush it away and say, if you confront them, they will say, oh, it was just a joke. You're taking it the wrong way. It happens
Yes.
to adults as well. So please be very careful. If you think you can't make up your mind whether it is actually bullying or not, get an adult in. Speak to your elder siblings, speak to your mother, speak to your dad, speak to anybody that you think can give you that kind of advice. But remember that bullies come in all shapes and sizes and all forms. It could be your friend too who's bullying you. So that's the only way that you can make out.
Yeah, and I just like to add, I remember as we were going to school, sorry, Sunanda, getting older, we would just ask our friends directly, have the open communication, even if someone is a friend of yours, even if someone isn't a friend of yours. Again, keeping your own safety in mind that, well, do you have a problem? Why did you say this? And that doesn't have to be a very aggressive conversation. It can also be a very, a very controlled, restrained conversation as to get to why did you say this? Why have you said this to me repeatedly? You bring it out into the open, and that's part of growing up. Only keeping your
and I think what you're saying, Afshin, is also great because sometimes we are not honest. So when we confront somebody, it doesn't have to be this aggressive thing like she's saying. You can
Like
also say, why did you say that? Yeah. Why did you say that? I felt hurt. We never talk about our feelings. We're always supposed to be brave. You don't have to be brave. We are human beings. We feel hurt. We feel angry. We feel scared. We feel jealous. We feel really, really upset. So vocalize all those feelings and say, I thought you were my friend. Why did you say something like that to me? That was really mean. Sometimes we say things, we don't realize it has a different kind of an impact, the way it is received by somebody else. So be sensitive, at the same time, be honest. There is no harm. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you uncool. It makes you real.
Yeah.
And just to let all of you know, all the kids listening here today, the most and this is a world recorded statistic, that the most number of bullying incidences happen between friends and family members. And it's always people who know you well, because that's how they can hurt you more. So you must stand up for yourself. The only rule you must always remember is very simple. If someone is not feeling bad for you, you do not need to feel bad for them. This is all you need to remember.
Yeah.
I think Achal can take this question. Sorry.
Yeah, should we monitor online or block sites, right?
Or block
sites.
Blocking sites.
Blocking websites. So Afshin had mentioned for younger kids, definitely monitoring is required, especially in this digital world when they're accessing school, they are trying to do homeworks, school is sending them links to click on. So it's really important that actually parents monitor for the younger kids. But as they reach the teenage years, once they are in the teenage years, a frank conversation with them, sitting with them, explaining them the dangers, checking out websites, showing them that which websites are good. There's a certain lot of websites have ages marked on them. Teaching them that, and then setting boundaries in collaboration with them will work better than like trying to block websites or trying to do like a net nanny with them. Conversation with work better, and then a repeated conversation. You can't just have a conversation now and then have something next year. You need to keep on checking in every 2 months, 3 months, because like right now a new game has come up, which is Among Us. 2 months down the line, something new might come up. So an ongoing conversation with your teenage kids will work much better, and you set boundaries in collaboration with them, and then you ensure that those boundaries are being followed.
And somebody's friends play Among Us, but we play private. Oh, Suzanne. Yeah, that's great. You must try and keep it. You don't try and include strangers in your game. Play privately amongst each other. Excellent.
Achal, can I ask, as the technical side is your expertise, that the cyber thing is your expertise, can you just give our kids or the mothers who are in the in this session any tips to or tricks and tips to avoid such kind of thing? Like when they are even us mothers, when we are watching something or like surfing something, there are so many things which we have to also avoid. So are there any hand-on tips?
So absolutely. So there are 2-3 things. One is when you are browsing websites, when you're browsing content, a lot of times, what is happening is there are a lot of honey traps, which is that something attractive pops up on your screen. So I think we need to teach our kids, and of course teach ourselves, that there are no free lunches. So if something is coming to you free, there is some pop-up, we must immediately disable and disconnect it. We might still use our reasoning as adults. We might still use our reasoning, but I think for kids, we need to teach them that they need to shut. Even from school, when school is sending links, I see it with my son, he's doing his homework. school has sent a video to watch, and then YouTube or any other website will automatically suggest 4 or 5 more related links. Now those links are not verified by your school. So again, if your child is going on, we need to be sure as to what they are clicking on. Now the other factor is when we are using certain sort of apps, like I said that my Instagram account was hacked, and there was nothing, but there was like some gibberish messages, some friendship requests were accepted and stuff like that. And I realized that there's something called as double factor authentication, which means you need double permission for anyone if your phone or your laptop or your app is being accessed from another computer, something which you've not used before. So the app asks for a double factor authentication. So we must ensure that even on app like an Instagram or Snapchat, we have these kind of authentications on. Even on our phones, iPhone, or any of the Android phones have these kind of authentications. These need to be done. It takes a minute to learn, but and it takes a minute to set them up, but we must take the time and set it up. The other thing, as I said, is setting. It's very like common. It's this thing, but we need to set strong passwords and not have the same password across websites. We are all guilty of making our birthdays or like our addresses or something as our passwords. Having strong passwords is really, really the key, and keep on changing them and have different ones across your apps. The other thing that I've really started doing is whenever you're visiting a website, you make sure that the lock sign is there at the top left. Most of the websites have a top left lock sign, which means that you cannot, that is a verified website. A lot of websites, there are a lot of copies going on, something called a phishing websites is called, where there are duplicate copies of the original website. So we make sure that the lock is there on the top left, so then you are not at least there is some safety to what you are surfing. If there's anything specific you want to ask, we can do that. But again, very important, as if you are interacting with people online, especially in gaming communities, do not have funny names, do not share your private information for sure, unless So again, we need to use it, as Sangeeta actually says this, that it's like with fire. Fire is useful to us, we light, we use it for cooking and stuff, but it's dangerous as well. So we need to teach ourselves, like how we teach ourselves on how to behave physically with each other. We need to teach ourselves and our children how to be in the virtual world as well.
So there's a question from Suzanne. I have a question that I have an Insta account. You can put on your mic and ask if you like. I have an Insta account and I post only drawings. So
I can't hear you.
how old is Suzanne? Okay.
13.
She's 13. I would suggest keeping your account private, just in case you post any pictures of yourself. If you're sure that you won't be posting any pictures of yourself or your family, then it's okay to keep your drawings posted on a public account, as long as you don't keep your phone number there or any email address.
Also,
Well,
you shouldn't be doing personal stories because you are really young. So give it a few more years. We're trying to.
Yeah. So if you never post any photos of yourself, I think it would be okay. But just remember, you're still really young, and unfortunately, there are a lot of scary, dangerous people out there. So it's better to be safe. If you can make your account private, better. If not, just keep it public, but don't put pictures of yourself. Just keep it your art.
And how important is, like, most of the gaming websites needs your email account. So people should have like some ID for such gaming sites only, or we don't, or you suggest that we use our regular IDs, email IDs.
So kids should be using their parents' IDs.
No, not even for parents. If anyone's ID can be hacked, or like the information can be taken from that, is it like safe or not?
You should
I will-
ideally, Sana, create a separate account if you can. I mean, anybody who has to hack can hack through anything for that matter. But this
Yeah.
is a one-step thing where you can remove yourself from, because your email, your normal email, main email will have a lot of sensitive information. So if anybody needs to, and these are normally not vetted sites, so we do not know the veracity of these. It is better to have a separate one for gaming or any other online activities as such, which is not directly related to work or for your personal communication.
Right.
And definitely, if it's a child on a gaming site, they should be using your parents' email so you can monitor it. The truth of the fact is everything in the digital world can be hacked, and we cannot do continuous monitoring for our children. So communication is key, and a little bit of monitoring. But it is not something to be feared, but just something to be careful about.
Gmail also has this ability that you can link, as a parent, you can set up a separate email account for your child and link it to your account. So while they have their own account with their own name, but it is linked to your account, so Gmail will scan anything which is inappropriate for the child, or at least you will have information as to what is coming in and out of the account, especially for gaming.
I think the only thing that I would need to add, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of the team here, is that internet is here to stay. It is a great tool, so please don't be scared of it. It is a fabulous friend to have. The resource is immense, but just be careful, like we are with a lot of things in life. When we cross the road, we look both ways. When we use an electrical switch, we are careful about it. So it's as simple as that. Just be careful. Don't be scared. But if there is something that you think is amiss, always reach out to an adult. You have family, they will help you out.
Thank you so
I
much,
think-
everyone. Yes, Sana, were you saying something?
I was just saying, for any parent here, it's, if a child comes up to you, children rarely lie. Children don't lie about incidences that might have happened to them. So just be open and listen to them and take the necessary step. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, and I'm really thankful to all of all of the participants who have attended today. And it was very important topic, and you have highlighted all the possible issues that we might have in our mind. And thank you, the team,
I'll do that.
and also Nahi Means No on the behalf of Padho and Padhao. And I'm really thankful to all of you. And soon we will be discussing new topics, and where we can discuss something new and something more informative. And yes, Samira, do you want to say anything?
No, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Of course, congratulations to the Nahi Means No girls for going global.
Thank you.
Well
Love
done,
you.
well done, well done.
For the
We're so
opportunity.
happy.
Thank
We're
you
so
so
happy
much
that
for
the-
giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. The pleasure was ours. And thank you to all the participants. Obviously, we have recorded this session, so we will be, sharing it on YouTube as well for those who missed it. And thank you once again to each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Signing
Bye-bye.
off.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
everyone. Stay
See you
safe.
soon, the team. Really, we want
Thank
to
you.
collaborate more, and we have already collaborated, but we want you to speak more on new topics. Inshallah, see you soon.
And it was really,
Forward to it.
really
Forward to it.
very informative, really. Well done, girls. Well done. Thank you. Thank
Safe,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lucy, don't